Alright folks, this video today is going to be about how to get a little bit more life out of a feeder, a hanging feeder. It's made by Moultrie, a barrel feeder, 200 pound, 30 gallon. I've got one that needed some repairs, needed a lid, so that's what this is all about. But folks, if you got time, please hit the like and subscribe button. I'm getting tons and tons of views on the videos, but people are not subscribing. I guess it's because YouTube suggests a lot of the videos and people go to them and look at them, and but they don't subscribe. I get a lot of likes, but I don't get very many subscriptions, and I'm trying to get that 1,000 mark. So if it's not too much trouble. So anyway, that's what this is about, is to show you an easy way using what you got to get more life out of your feeder. The feeder, the lid was the problem. It was leaking, and you could not see a hole in the lid. But once I got it in the shop and took something and put on it to start cleaning it up, I realized, hey, it's full of holes. So that lid's no good. And I'm a metal fabricator, don't get me wrong, but I'm not fixing that. So I looked around to see what I had. I got leftover plywood all over the place, just, you know, so I went that route, and I coated it with a rubber coating, and it'll probably outlast the barrel. So anyway, that's all this is about. Look, way to get a little bit more life out of your feeders. So, and there's a tip in there about the feeder heads or the distributors that'll save you some money. So if you will, like I say, please hit the like and subscribe, and hope you enjoy the video. So this video is about how to get a little bit more life out of your hanging Moultrie feeder. I've got one that I use down here on the farm where I hunt, and it's I like the hanging feeder because nothing can get to it. It's a steel drum type, and nothing can climb down the side and get up on there and spin the spinner and get the corn out, that kind of thing, which we've had problems with on other feeders before. But this one is about 3 years old, and I noticed the corn was getting wet in it. Well, I brought it home to clean it up. They have like a shellac on the inside of them that was coming off, so I got it wire brushed out and everything, and I painted the inside of it, which has worked out good for me on another feeder. But the main thing was the lid, and the lid, I didn't realize it was in such bad shape until I started trying to clean some of the rust on it. Then I find out, hey, look, this thing's full of holes. Those holes weren't visible before I started trying to take some of the rust off of it. So I needed a new lid. So I built one out of what I had on hand. The only lid you can buy to replace these lids with is a plastic lid. And we've had problems with squirrels gnawing holes through plastic lids before on the plastic feeders. So I didn't want that. So I built one out of plywood, a couple 2x4s, put a lip around it, holds it in place, and I made these little hooks out of some 1/4-inch all thread that I had to hold it down. So I think it's going to work pretty good. So I've touched up the paint on it, painted the inside. So probably get 2 or 3 more seasons out of it easily. But you have to replace the heads on them from time to time. Let me get one of those and show you a little tip that'll save you some money on that. So this is the feeder head that goes on this thing, the distributor, I guess you'd call it, with the spinner plate. Because this one's dirty, it's been in use. The controllers on these things go out. Well, to replace this thing now is about 80 bucks. That's about what they're running now. So that's a little much. The motor's still good. Everything else is still fine. And this is the twist lock type. They're really convenient when you need to change one out. So rather than spend 80 bucks, I found these American Hunter controllers that work for 6 or 12 volt feeders. And you can get one of these for anywhere from $21.99 to $24.99, somewhere in that price range. So I've done several of these feeder heads by putting these on there. As you can see, I got it fastened on here with a tie wrap, and I wired it into the motor. You can even wire up for your solar panel if you're using one, which I use one on this feeder. And so it's just a cheaper way for you to get a lot more life out of this feeder head. And they work good. They're really easy to program. So the only thing is it's a little wide. It makes it a little bit harder to put your canister on the bottom. So if you'll take it and drill that hole out about 2 drill sizes, it still works, won't leak, and it's a whole lot easier to put it back on. So that's just a little money saving tip for you feeders. If you use these Moultrie feeders, get you a little bit more life out of them. So what I'm trying to do is get everything back in top shape for the upcoming bow season in September. The turkey season opens up in I think the second weekend of April, somewhere in there. So I'm taking that week off vacation to turkey hunt, and so my plan is to turkey hunt in the mornings, and then every afternoon go put up a tree stand. So hopefully I can get my stands all set up, putting them in some new locations, digging into the swamp a little bit, hoping to kill a good buck on camera this coming season. Maybe I can break the curse of the camera, as I call it, which I haven't been able to kill a decent one since I started carrying a camera in the woods. So hopefully I can get through that. Anyway, that's what this is all about. Just a couple tips. Use what you got. I'm like every other do-it-yourselfer. I've got stuff everywhere left over from project. There's over 100 bolt and nut bins over there on that wall that are full. And 9 times out of 10, when I need a nut or a bolt, I go over and plunder for 2 hours, and I end up at Lowe's or at the hardware store getting what I need. But it's not always that way. So sometimes it pays off. You know, I've got lots of scrap plywood left over from the last 2 or 3 projects that I did here in the shop. I built a hunting blind for a friend of mine this past summer, in here, and I've got stuff left over from that, and then I built a cabinet, a couple of cabinets, and several things, projects. I've got stuff left over from everything. So today I lucked out. I was able to have paint left over. I had all thread that I used to make the hooks to go on the lid to fasten it down. This is a rubberized coating that I put on here, a roof coating made by Blackjack, I think it is. It's supposed to be good for 10 years. I coated the little greenhouse, we call it, that I built for my friend, and there was just a little bit left over in the bottom of the can, so I put it on this lid. So it fits on there nice and snug. I can cinch it down with the wing nuts, and it's good and tight. Seals all the way around, so we'll get some more life out of this feeder. So anyway, there you go.